Today I'm going to give you an idea about how the airway is assessed. Now when a patient comes to you before the operation, it's a compulsory task for any anesthetist to look for the airway of the patient. Now first of all we have to look for the history. Now in the history there are some parts such as medical history, which comprises of any congenital anomaly, any voice change history, any history of diabetes mellitus or obesity. Now in the surgical history, any spine surgery or any surgery related to the face / airway, and any anesthesia related history of difficult intubation or as such something. Now there are some predictors of difficult airway and difficult backmask ventilation. There is a mnemonic known as OBES. Now what D stands for? O stands for obese, where BMI is greater than 26. B stands for bearded, any bearded person. E stands for elderly, elderly greater than 55 years. S stands for snorers. E stands for edentulous. Now comes the examination part. I will give the salient points of stepwise assessment of the airway. Now the first thing you need to calculate is the BMI. BMI is weight in kg by height in meter square. Now you can see the table of the BMI on the right side of the screen. Any obese patient, we should be aware of his or her BMI before we intubate. Next comes the neck circumference. If the neck circumference is greater than 40 centimeters, we should be cautious. Next comes the congenital anomaly. There are some disease like Pierre-Robin syndrome, Treacher-Collins syndrome, which involves there are certain alterations in their airway, nose, tongue. So these type of patients are very difficult to intubate. Next comes any overall facial anomaly, any overall visible facial anomaly. Next comes nose, any type of problem in the related to the nose or the lip, palate. Next comes teeth. If whether the patient has artificial dentures or whether the patient is edentulous, elderly person. Next we will look for tongue. There are certain diseases which can result in macroglossia. So in case of macroglossia, we will be aware about the intubation part, and we will look for the disease. Next comes the Mallampatti classification. Everybody have to know the Mallampatti classification. The classification is given over the right side of the screen. You can pause the video and note it down also. Mallampatti 3 and 4, these are difficult intubation situations. Next comes the neck movement. There is a test called Delicans test, where the examiner has to put the left index finger over the chin and the right index finger over the occipital protuberance and ask the patient to extend. Now, if the left finger position is lower than the right finger position, then there might be difficulty in intubation. You can see the Delicans picture of the Delicans test over the screen. Next, we will look for the distances for mandibular space. There are 3 distances, namely hyomental distance, which should be greater than 4 centimeter, thyromental distance, which should be greater than 6.5 centimeter. Then there is sternomental distance, which should be greater than 12.5 centimeter. If it's less, then it might lead to difficult intubation. There is also an important point to assess, that is the temporomandibular joint mobility. As you can see on the screen, we'll ask the patient to put his or her 3 fingers in his or her own mouth, and if they can't, then there will be chances of difficult intubation. These are all for the examination part. Now comes the radiological part. If there is any discrepancy or any doubt during the examination part, you can go for X-ray, which may be of neck, chest, cervical spine, face, lateral. You can also look for USG of neck nodes or local cellulitis. If you are not still satisfied, you can go for CT scan or even MRI. This is all for the assessment of airway during the pre-op period either in the OPD or in the PAC room. Thank you.